Before we go wrap things up, let's talk about some of your cameos in WWE
Oh, please. All
last
right.
couple of years. So, how'd you get the call? Because I know you were at SummerSlam last
Yep.
year, and I was there too. I was in attendance.
Oh,
Tell me
nice.
about yeah, great show, great card. Tell me about that experience.
So, man, it's so rare. It's so random, actually, because that was the first time that I'd been back since 2014. Did a
Hmm.
SmackDown appearance right after WrestleMania 30, along with a Raw appearance when they did the Ultimate Warrior tribute. But man, this one actually came out of nowhere because it was right after Pat Buck had left WWE and ended up going to AEW, and he was the guy that would book the local talents at that time. Well, it was kind of like hit or miss getting a response from him, but I found out who the new guy was and just randomly shot off an email because I found out SummerSlam's coming, and this was 3 or 4 months in advance. Did not expect it, and I'm like, okay, maybe he'll remember me from working some shows around this area a decade ago. We got to talk about that later on, but he booked me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Pessimist me is thinking maybe this will get pulled out from under me before I actually get there or whatever. And thankfully it didn't. And I had no idea. I thought I was just going to be there eating catering all day or whatever it may be. But no, you got to go out around the ringside, see them setting up stuff, see them going over stuff, hang out with Charles Robinson, just talk to these different guys, see some guys and girls from the Nightmare Factory that were up there as extras as well. And then they're like, okay, we need you three to do security for a segment. And it's like, okay. So like that's all they said. They said it's gonna be after the tag team match, and that's it. So we're left alone. They give us the shirts and everything. Uh, don't really know what's going on. We go over to the gorilla position right outside of it. They say, okay, you're going to go over here and meet this guy. He's going to drive you out. So they took us out on a golf cart through the crowd, and it's just like, okay, this is actually happening, but the nerves weren't there. It was like just I was in the moment. I was seeing it from like a 30,000 foot view because I could see everything in the stadium as it was happening. And it's just like going because I've done security work on the side as well. So I kind of know what to do in a legitimate situation like that. But I'm also trying to make sure I don't block the shot and get in the way of the superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully I didn't. I ended up front row next to Seth Rollins, which was awesome. But it's just doing that. Producers were happy with it. Everybody involved was happy with it, and I shot a message off to that guy that booked me the night after and thanked him for it. Said, hey, I've still got my physical, my blood work's in check. I'm licensed in this state. Is there any chance I could be used on any of these? And that was the Indianapolis SmackDown and the Louisville Raw, and then what was supposed to be the day one pay per view. But before I jump to that, though, I just thought of something that I forgot to mention from that SummerSlam day. I show up, I park, and there's guys like Byron Saxton, Corey Graves, Chris Park, who used to be Abyss. They're all getting out of their cars. We're all walking in, going through the metal detectors. They're checking our bags and everything. I didn't know it, but across the way, seeing us go in, were fans that usually boo me for a promotion up in Kentucky that I work for called UCW, and they're sitting there chanting my name like in front of all these WWE people, and I'm just like, I don't think this is supposed to happen to me, but here we are. It was a really cool experience, but then flash forward, I'm sure we'll talk about SmackDown and Raw next because that was the next appearance there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, sounds like you had fun. I mean,
Oh,
doing
for
it.
sure, for sure. I mean, the biggest thing too that I noticed was that nobody was walking on eggshells this time. Because when I went in 2014, it was almost like everybody was on eggshells. Everybody was nervous. So it's just trying to stay out of the way, trying to not ruffle any feathers. And this time, man, it was just laid back as can be. Billy Kidman's, hanging out in the room where the extras are because it was the producer's room as well. Michael Cole's in there. Like it's just all this different stuff. Eating lunch with Byron Saxton and Bobby Lashley. Like it's
What
way
could
more
be
laid back this go round.
what couldn't be better than that? I mean, come on.
Exactly, exactly.
Have you thought about working for one of the big companies? Was that
And
something?
I always that's the dream, and I've let it be known because I've submitted. I even gave Byron Saxton my resume and information like with my commercial and character demo reels, links to the podcast and everything, different broadcasting and acting things I've done. I would love to go and be a manager, be a broadcaster, be something, because I know at some point, I'm gonna have to slow down on the physicality, but I know that I can talk better than anything else. So put me with somebody that can't talk. That's my goal. But it seems like that position was a revolving door, and the person that booked me for those had had been moved to a different position. He's a producer now, and lo and behold, what was supposed to be day one in Atlanta got moved because the show got canceled. Raw was in Nashville the next day. So I asked him, hey, is there any chance that I can just get moved from that to this because it's in my backyard? It's like, well, I would say yes, but it's this new guy's decision. This new guy had been there before, and I kind of got blown off by it. They brought in guys from different states, a lot of the same people you've seen on TV now. So I'm trying to find a way to navigate it because it's kind of like the same response every time. I even done a tryout and a seminar and all this, and it's frustrating because you're seeing the same people, some of which are my friends, and it's cool, but it's like I sent you 10 different dates that I could do, but you're bringing the same people from here and here and here, and I just give me another opportunity because I got fantastic reviews from everybody that I worked with the last time, but it's just kind of like that momentum was pulled out from under me because people changed positions and I had no control over it. So it's a frustrating thing, but I would love to be in any one of these big three companies as a manager, as a mouthpiece. And if they needed somebody to be in the ring, I would love to do that too. But yeah, I want a job, I want the jersey, and I want to be on the team. That's the main thing.
You'll get there. I
Thank
promise you. You will
thank
get there. Just it's like that songwriter trying to get his big break.
you. Yep.
You will get there. Just keep going for it, and you'll make
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you.
You'll
I
make it.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, let's